the year 1948, which is what I started the article out with. I was 4 years old at the time, but it involved my father, who was about to start flying Jewish refugees to Israel, and also my grandfather, who had just been appointed to be a judge at Nuremberg on the third Nuremberg trials. The third Nuremberg trial involved different sort of mid-level bureaucratic Nazi ministries that were committing war crimes in terms of banishing people, primarily Jews, out of Germany, seizing their property. The analogy I began to see was that what my grandfather was judging crimes of occupation, at the same time in 1948, Israelis were doing somewhat similar crimes to the Palestinians. Now, there's no analogy at all between the major war crimes, the Holocaust. That wasn't going on in Israel, and I'm not trying to make an analogy to that, but there were crimes of occupation. There was ethnic cleansing. There was seizure of property and destruction of property. My father was able to join Alaska Airlines flying Jews from Europe to Israel, and then they got a big contract to fly Jews from Yemen to Israel, and that became Operation Magic Carpet. And my father headed that operation, and that went on for about a year, and they flew some 50,000 Yemeni Jews to Israel. It seemed to be a depiction of an event that was predicted in the Bible, how Jews would fly in the wings of eagles back to Israel. You know, they had these long flights that were like 8-10 hours long to go from Aden, clear up the Red Sea, eventually to Israel. And they were dangerous flights in the sense that they were flying, splitting the air corridor of the Red Sea between Arab countries that were certainly not, that were at war with the Jews. So they certainly had some risk, and they were occasionally fired on. He was very proud of the role he and his pilots played in Operation Magic Carpet and later Alibaba, which was bringing Jews from Iraq to Israel. At the same time, he knew when he was there what was happening to the Arabs. And then over the years, he became more and more critical of Israel's conduct, and he began to feel that they are taking advantage of their close relationship with this country. And I think he became less and less a friend of Israel, and eventually, when offered the chance to fly to Israel on its 50th anniversary, he turned him down because of the novel Exodus. That image of Israel as the good guy and the Arabs as the bad ones stuck in our minds, and to a great extent is still part of the way Americans look at the Middle East, or particularly Palestine and Israel. This wonderful tale about very heroic individuals who escaped from the Holocaust of Germany and came to Israel to start a country. It captured our imagination, and it put Israel in our minds, and we began to see it as this near helpless little David being oppressed by these massive hordes of savage Arabs. The idea occurred to me that if Exodus, the novel Exodus, could have such a great effect, maybe a counter-Exodus novel could also have a great effect to tell the story of what's happening presently and what happened in the past, with the idea of changing minds, just as the original Leon Uris novel Exodus changed minds. The title is The Exodus Betrayal: A President Confronts Israel. And it's about a US president faced with Israel planning an attack on Iran and her attempts to prevent that attack, and everything that was predicted that could go wrong goes wrong, and she has to deal with the consequences.